How you doing? Welcome to Dean Kirks Buzzbox. Got another one that's buzzing like crazy, buzzing like a bunch of honeybees. That's right. John Hiatt, backed up by the Jerry Douglas Band. It's called Long Black Electric Cadillac, sort of a 21st century twist on a car record. Boy, we need more of these car records. It was just so nice to see a video about a car record. And remember those car records from way back in the day, shut down by the Beach Boys, some of those hot rod classics, 409 by the Beach Boys. You got Drag City by Jan and Dean, and Little Old Lady from Pasadena, but that's not really a car record. The Dead Man's Curve, that was one I was trying to think of, and numerous others. Probably one of the most famous car records is Hot Rod Lincoln, Commander Cody and the Lost Planet Airmen back in 1972. But I really get into an earlier version of that by Johnny Rod. Hot Rod Lincoln back in 1960. Somebody else also did that song back in 1960. But I'm giving you a little bit of history of these car records. Just like to hear some more of these car records. Saw this video on CMT, Country Music Television. Yes, all right. John Hiatt, backed up by the Jerry Douglas Band. And I'll talk a little bit about Jerry Douglas, and talk a little bit about John Hiatt. Really excited about this record, boy. That long black electric Cadillac get 1,000 miles on the charge, or maybe it's 2,000 miles on the charge today. And towards the end, they sing about going to Memphis or something like that at the end of the song. This is pure Americana, pure Americana. Right up to the T. Yes, it's all American. Red, white, and blue. Apple pie and baseball. Yes. Jerry Douglas, boy, there's a lot of talent on this record. Jerry Douglas played on 1,600 albums. He's played with artists Dave Ferry, Ray Charles, Garth Brooks, Elvis Costello, Mumford & Sons, Paul Simon. And he joined. I don't know how long he was with the band, but you might remember Alison Krauss and the Union Station. He was in that band for a while, starting in 1998. And 3 times he won the CMA, that's Country Music Association. I believe the A stands for Association Music of the Year Award. He's put out 14 solo albums, a lap steel guitar player. Boy, he plays a mean guitar on this record. I mean, it's a mean record. Yes. The album, by the way, is called Leftover Feelings. That's John Hiatt. And let's talk about John Hiatt. Now, John Hiatt he's almost 70 years old. He put out his first album in 1974. He had some tragedy when he was growing up. His dad, he had an older brother that committed suicide. He was 9 years old. A few years later, his dad passed away. He found an escape hatch. So much sorrow, so much melancholy. You just need to get away from it for a while. Just some relief from it all, from the tragedy of life. He found it watching Indy car racing. He got into music, got into Elvis. He got into the King. He got into Elvis, Bob Dylan, and the blues, and learned how to play the guitar when he was 11 years old, and started playing in local bands by the time he was a teenager. He got a deal with Big Tree Music Publishing. I got Tree Music Publishing. It might be Big Tree, but he got a music publishing deal for about $25 a week. This was in Nashville, and from what I understand, he wrote about 250 songs and had to sing all these records, all these 250 songs that he wrote. Well, he put out his first album in 1974, and he would be about 22, I think, at that time. Now, here's the deal about 1974. Not only did he put out an album that year, and he signed a deal with Epic Records, by the way, in 1973, and by 1979, he joined up with MCA. But here's the deal in 1974. I didn't know this. John Hiatt, he wrote the song, Sure As I'm Sitting Here. Does anybody remember that? Three Dog Night covered that record. They had it was their last top 20 hit. And you know, Three Dog Night, they had a slew of hits from 1969 all the way through 1975, but summer '74, it was their last really big hit. Sure as I'm sitting here, went to number 16 or number 18. I believe it was number 16 on Billboard's Hot 100. Now, number 16 for Three Dog Night, this is a group that's accustomed to being in the top 10. But believe me, being number 16 on Billboard's Hot 100, whether you're established or a new artist, believe me, that is respectable. He's probably picked up a nice royalty check out of that song. And he wrote a song. He did a duet with Rosanne Cash in the 80s. The song that he wrote, The Way We Make a Broken Heart, he and Rosanne Cash, they did it as a duet, but it wasn't put out by the record company. And Rosanne Cash, she redid the song herself. A song that John Hiatt wrote. Went to number 1 on the country charts in 1987, and guess what? Yeah, 1989. Remember the Jeff Healey band, Angel Eyes, huge hit, MTV, and I believe VH1 too, all over that record. Went to number 5, co-written by John Hiatt. So he's written this song, Long Black Electric Cadillac. It's a nice, and the video, man, the car is splendid. It looks good. It's just shiny black Cadillac. It was filmed. The video was filmed at the Natchez Trace Parkway Bridge, which is near Nashville. It was cold that day. We're talking about a cold day in April. They turned the heater up to 80 degrees, the top down, and cruised, chilled. Just relaxed. John Hiatt had this point. He made this point. Take your road trip seriously. This is the takeaway for the fans. Take your road trip seriously, but don't take yourself seriously. Well, that's good enough advice. Good enough advice for me. Now, here's the thing. They're going to be on tour. The Jerry Douglas band and John Hiatt. They're going to start touring on August the 22nd. That's this year, 2021. But it's going to start in earnest on September the 16th. They're going to be playing a Harvest Music Festival in Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada. That's, of course, about a month. God, that's exactly a month from now, because today is August the 16th. So, once again, the album is called Leftover Feelings. Oh, gosh. Now, here's the deal. I almost forgot to mention this. It's on my fantasy playlist, my pop fantasy playlist. But before I get to that, the formats for this record that could be played. The formats. I'm talking about radio formats. Well, obviously, country comes to mind. Got a little of that bluegrass. Got a little bit some good picking, man. Some good lyrics. It's just, and the country, adult alternative. Perfect fit for adult alternative, because you get all kinds of different of genres mixing into adult alternative, soul, country, a little bit of country, rock and roll, and adult contemporary. Pop. I don't know about pop. I like to say pop. But with that said, I got this on my pop fantasy playlist. It is up to number 21, up from 26. And I'm gonna tell you this, up on my fantasy playlist, it's right here, right there, John Hiatt. It's gonna go into the top 20, gonna go into the top 10 of my fantasy playlist, because this is just a classic cruising summer record. Just imagine you're listening to your favorite pop station. It's like 1973 when you would hear, when you put on the radio and then Here Comes an Easy Rider. Remember that, by the Charlie Daniels Band, coming out of your radio? Well, this song, kind of a similar vibe in a way. You got Ariana Grande playing, and you got maybe a Justin Bieber and Doja Cat, and then here comes John Hiatt. Just kind of. Well, anyway, it's just a fantasy, but still, I like to see this song go places. Just want to bring it to your attention. It is a buzz pick. It is buzzing. John Hiatt backed up. Well, I say this. Let me put it like this. John Hiatt and the Jerry Douglas Band. Long Black Electric Cadillac on Dean Kirks Buzz Picks. Take care.